Where last we left our heroes, the Crimson Bones. We had wrapped up our 36th session of D&D, gentlemen. Mazel tov there, most certainly. Ooh. In the last episode of the Champions of Nirn campaign, starring the Crimson Bones, there was a terrifying set of encounters within the Fog Forest. One of which being a mighty Daedric Catoblepus. The party learned a bit about the results of the cleansing ritual Lokir performed on Claygon by encountering these terrible creatures, and learned that, it caused some type of demonic incursion in its wake, which you all witnessed firsthand. The party returned to the Great Tree not long after, told by Claygon that Lokir Bitterroot had gone missing suddenly. Spending some time searching for him, the Crimson Bones decided that there wasn't really much you guys could do about it, unfortunately, and just are hoping that Lokir Bitterroot will hopefully return soon from wherever he is. While the Crimson Bones were waiting, there was crafting, tinkering, and training. Nights spent by the fire telling tall tales, and about 5 days or so passed within the comfort of the Great Tree. Until, in the early morning, on the 28th of last seed, Sir Brandon Ryger returned to the party at rather suspicious timing, telling of his travels and bringing with him the offer of some type of business deal once again. As you guys were kind of discussing the oddity that is Brandon Ryger, there was a noise heard outside, and rather quickly and swiftly, Brandon Ryger has drawn his weapon and is pointing it outward of the Great Tree, somewhere over in the distance beyond where you can see. He takes a very low stance to the ground, almost doing, almost like a split. Really, he's almost prone, while still in like a standing stance. It's quite almost animalistic. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. You're not quite sure what to think of it. That being said, it's quite clear that he's seen something. What do you guys want to do? What do you think? You are inside of the Great Tree, kind of in like the, general living area where there's a fairly, comfortable amount of space for you guys that are in there, which is Ulzgud, Skeezewell, you, Mandion, Syphax is in there as well. Klingon and Waldwin are absent from the scene currently.
How tall is ceilings? Is the tree hollow?
The tree is hollow, but there is a floor above you that is made, probably about a good 6 or 7 feet up above where okay. The floor is.
Probably not possible to cast rope trick then.
What are the specifications of rope trick? Just so we can be clear.
Well, I'll just do the thing.
Please. You might as well.
An action on touch of a length of rope that is 60 feet long.
I mean, does it specify how tall the extra dimensional space has to be? Or can it just be up to 60 feet?
When the rope rises, it's the length of rope is up to 60 feet long. The end of the rope rises into the air until the whole rope hangs perpendicular to the ground. So it needs to be straight up and down. That depends on the length of rope. I don't really have time to cut it, so probably not.
Okay. All right. Well,
I
potentially possible, maybe. But
7 foot length of rope.
Yeah, the worstage of using the whole rope might be the defining condition there. Yeah. I'm not too sure. Maybe the rope can go into the extra dimensional space, so just the rest of it hanging. I don't know. Maybe I'm not too sure which way to lean that one. Mandion and Gelden, it could be potentially possible.
Okay.
Anyway, though, you think it may be not the most feasible, but maybe possible.
Maybe Gelden thinks about casting rope trick, but decides to hold off.
Okay. Very good. And you just kind of take note of Brandon Ryger as he is, you're all kind of gathered around the small like stump that is a communal like dining table. And there's some stools around. Cyvax is still, trying to enjoy his meal. You've all been interrupted pretty much in the middle of breakfast. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker is the only one that's like really standing at attention.
Am I still in a rage?
No, you ended your rage
Okay.
at the end of last session. No, I was gonna debate letting you walk it back, but you said like, oh well, it's Brandon Ryger. I'll chill out. So.
Okay, yeah, no, I just couldn't remember. That's all is well.
But you are.
So yeah, he's still just crouched. Just heard something.
Yeah, he is like bow like turned horizontally, and like his muscles are starting to tense. And he's like, I see a man out there, 200 meters far. Are we expecting company?
Definitely not. We weren't even expecting Loki to not be here.
Seems like he's
All
dressed in
mystery
black. Do I take the shot?
Wait. Maybe he has gold.
And Ryger just holds his bow arm, and you can see it's steadily getting a bit more shaky as he's holding all that tension and momentum. Unsure of what you guys want to do. It seems like he's waiting now for your guys' call.
Mr. Ryger, hold on a moment. Cover me, and I will go out and approach this person.
Okay, he kind of like does like a small like side straddle, still like crouched, and basically like he's kind of like in the middle of like a Gears of War like roadie run, basically like stationary, and he's just kind of like holding the edge of the doorway. It's pretty mean. Sitting there, and he gives you a nod, Ulzgud, as you part through the beaded curtain, exiting out of the great tree. Does any of the other Crimson Bones follow suit with Ulzgud Bone-Breaker?
I would like to stand guard by the door with my palm pistol out, but I will not go with him.
Okay, do you want to take the opposite side of the door
Yes.
that like yeah, sick. Okay, all right. We're getting a little CQB action, stacking up.
Back it up, boys.
Okay, Master Binbag, other than your interjection, is there any other particulars you want to make sure get done in this scene? Or are you, what are you up to, my friend?
Skeezewell notices that everyone else is crouching and takes a battle stance himself, attempting to, stay out of sight.
Okay, very good, excellent. I would say a stealth check not even be required, so long as you are, remaining
sure
cautious. No, I'm sure.
Are you sure? Because
No. I mean, unless you.
Have some hilarious.
If you would like to roll a stealth roll, you may. You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Okay. About what I was anticipating with what you described. You keep
Skeezewell
low and
feels
quiet.
apart, but he holds it in at the last moment.
Oh, you could also speak up a little bit more, Master Binbag.
Sorry, I'm a bit away. I will speak up louder.
It's fine. Just so you know, I can hear you, but just a little loud. Anyway, yes, the Crimson Bones in formation. Syphax will just like, oh, you guys got it. He's gonna keep eating his like sweet roll like porridge or whatever he's eating this morning. And it was good, Bone-Breaker. You step out, and over yonder, far away, you catch sight of this person immediately, probably a good like 230 feet or so away. Seems to you like one individual dressed in black. You could see the color of their skin pretty prominently. They seem like they have Caucasian colored flesh to you. and you can see, you know, that their face is rather, you know, rather exposed. And they are making their way to you fast. This person is like almost like galloping in some way with like these long strides, and is closing the distance rather quickly. Do you wait for him, Master Bone-Breaker?
I will draw my short sword, and I will wait for them to approach.
Ooh. Are you like brandishing it like visibly, or is it more of like a tuck behind like the leg kind of thing? Like.
Oh no, I'm standing there with it in plain sight, letting them know I mean business.
There's some like ambient chickens and so on that are over yonder just scratching and digging along the roots. And as this figure comes over, this black clad, face turned up, almost like a pompous, like regal air about them. You know, like rather well-to-do. You know, they stride their way, you know, remarkably quick, until they're about a good 80 feet or so away from the great tree. During this brief interval, this figure's getting closer. Brandon Ryger, by the way, sitting there, he's getting closer. I don't know. I don't like the look of him. He was pretty pompous. You know, at the same time, you know, basically informing the rest of the Crimson Bones as to what Ulzgud Bone-Breaker is seeing. Brandon Ryger apparently has pretty keen vision. And this odd black-clad figure stops about 80 feet away, and Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, now you can see, indeed, it looks to you like a butler of some kind that you would only find in the most like prestigious of noble houses, or, you know, like regal families. Not even the rich can afford butlers of this magnitude. Servants are not uncommon, but someone of this caliber, you know, it's obviously by their stance and their, you know, just the way they carry themselves, this person is of a different class of individual. You see no weaponry upon them. They're dressed in rather slickly fitting black tails, basically a tuxedo of types. You don't see any dirt or a scratch on their person. They're remarkably clean, suspiciously so.
You say they're 80 feet, right?
80 feet away.
Keeping my sword drawn, I will take the dash and get right in their face.
Ooh, dude. How close are we talking?
Oh, I'm going the full 80. I'm getting right in their face.
Dude, fantastic. It is what it is. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker starts making his way, this large short sword, you know, well, I want to say large short sword, but, you know, it's like a big, like, knife, pretty much, a short sword. And he's making his way with these strides that eventually gain momentum, and Ulzgud Bone-Breaker is sprinting for this character. Brandon Ryger tells you, Mandion, in case you're not peeking, you know, there he goes.
I peek out and look out for a second, and then poke my head back in.
The chickens have long since hidden over in like the periphery of like the various vegetation and so on, hidden from whatever this interaction may escalate into, and the odd energy that has suddenly entered into the sphere of the great tree, seemingly unchecked. And Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, as you're making your way up to this person, it's, you know, it is more or less as I've described. A thinning dark hairline, and the figure's eyes are closed even. Their face upturned, their hands tightly sat by their sides. And they remain motionless, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, as you close the distance and get within melee range. And it is you now. Like, I mean, just what do you know? There's no reaction. What do you do? Do you stop when you encounter this figure, or what's going on, man?
Oh, I walk up and almost bump chests into them, and stop in my tracks and look down. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Oh, do forgive my intrusion, good master. I am Mr. Archibald. I come here on behalf of my master, the figure says.
Who would that be?
I serve the most renowned arena fighting champion this side of Atla, His Lordship Scaramouche the Terrible.
Scaramouche, you say?
I'm sure you've heard of my master. He is known far and wide.
Ulzgud takes a moment to try and recall where he heard this name.
Ooh, you can do a history check if you want to, or if you want to actually take a guess, if you have, notes appropriate, it's up to you. Unfortunately, no one can help you in this situation as you are interacting with this individual alone.
See, I think I just wrote his name down. Yeah. Ulzgud says, I've heard of him. What business do you have here?
I have come on behalf of my master, as he has instructed me to warn you that you will be his next quarry.
I myself, or the Crimson Bones?
Oh, forgive my manners. I have yet to have an introduction, Mr.
Bone-Breaker.
Bone-Breaker of the Crimson Bones, correct?
Yes.
I am afraid it is the case. All of the Crimson Bones are marked for death.
And why would you come here and tell us this?
My master thought it would be rather sporting for you to get a heads up.
What is the word I'm looking for? I guess I'd like to do an insight check?
Yes! Yes! Please, Master Bone-Breaker, make an insight check. The first one, I think, to have been made in the entirety of the campaign, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. At least since I've been.
Oh, I've been waiting so long. So, just for the audience and for the players here, to help explain the excitement, if you all have any inclination that an NPC could be being deceitful or is, unusually hard to read, maybe I'm giving mixed signal as the dungeon master, potentially, an insight check is a very interesting in-game way to try to pin down a character's motivation, or what they mean when they say things. Trying to read in between the lines. Kudos to you, Master Bone-Breaker, for busting it out. I reward you, my good man, with an inspirational token of dankness. It is yours for the evening to re-roll any type of check that you desire as a reward for your, for thinking of it. Ugh. Very good. Now, without further delay, a 12. You have a feeling that this guy is being pretty honest with what he's telling you. Looking at him, he hasn't flinched in your presence, which is rather remarkable within itself. And he seems a bit more, you know, like a stoic, upfront kind of guy. You know, again, you know, he has no proof, you know, to back up his claims or whatever. This could be some, you know, some like homeless whatever, right? You know, trying to fool you. You know, unfortunately, it's hard to tell. But I don't know. You think he may be a man of his word at the same time. Yeah.
So, all right, Ulzgud likes to ask this guy. You say marked for death, and he's an arena fighter. Is he gonna try and find us, or we gotta go to an arena or something?
Oh, indeed, Sif. Pardon me. He was once an arena fighter, you see, but once he became the grand champion and ran out of people to kill, he got rather bored. Then he was a world-class adventurer, but has recently sworn away from the adventuring lifestyle in favor of more dangerous pursuits.
And we are the new pursuit?
I'm afraid so, sir. His original quarry was Master Beric Dondarrion and his adventuring party, but word has reached his ears that they've entered the Mountain of Gilgamesh and have not come out. But another adventuring party has made their way out of there, and he's taking keen interest in that, good sir.
Huh. How did he hear about this?
Oh, many have heard a great tale of the Crimson Bones walking out of the Mount of Gilgamesh, where Dram the Dark had to flee for his life.
Well, that's good to know. And at this time, I pull out my beetle and I call Mandion over.
Oh shit! All right, okay.
Bring the bones, baby. All of them. And at this time, I would like to ask this butler, what makes you feel so safe coming out here and telling all of us that we're to die?
Oh, my good sir. If you were to kill the messenger, which I suspect you aren't the type to do so, it's rather unclassy, it would simply be that, sir. I shall put up no fight against you, for it is not why I am here.
While this is going on, Mandion hears the message and starts coming out to see what's going on.
Are you bringing the rest of the Crimson Bones with you?
Yes, I will gather the Crimson Bones and bring the entourage out.
Scytheback's like, oh, come on.
What did he say, Mandy? What did he say? I want to talk to him. Let me talk to him.
I'll bring Brandon along with us.
And Ryger's like, oh my god. He's rather begrudging, but he follows in suit at the back of the pack. Very good, very good. Anything furthermore, Mandion and Gelden, as the troop of Crimson Bones are making their way toward this odd scene.
Mandion Gelden is not dropping his pistol and is keeping it trained on the intruder.
Sick.
He's not letting his guard down. He will lead the group.
Understood. Are you wearing your suit, Mandion Gelden? It's breakfast right now. It's like 7. It's like 7:30. I don't remember if you said you put on your suit first thing this morning, or if you
it is
had breakfast.
Not equipped, so I would say I did not equip it.
Okay. Very good. Just to make sure.
Yep.
I don't want to spring that on you. At the last
do
minute.
not have it equipped, so I imagine I do not have it equipped.
Very good, sir. So be it. Scythax kind of trailing along with Brandon Ryger. He has like his little bowl of like porridge or whatever. He's like, come on, guys, what the hell? Introducing the new Scythax. Look at how handsome he is.
Nice.
Isn't he handsome?
Beautiful.
Anyway, he comes mumbling and stumbling along, and eventually the entirety of the Crimson Bones are aligned along. It was good. You take note of, like, man, you know, a couple of seconds after you're having this dialogue with this man, you see, like, the arm of Mandion Gelden with his little like device in his body, you know, just pointing it right at him. And what was the question you asked this man last?
I asked him why he felt so safe and
yeah, I mean,
being able to walk up and tell us that we're gonna die.
And he told you, like, well, you know, I'm just here to deliver a message, so there you go. It was, you know, was the gist, basically. And he stands there, like, well, if that will be all, Crimson Bones, I shall be finding myself on my way.
You're not excused quite yet.
So be it.
I turn and look to all of my Crimson Bones, and I tell them, this man has come here telling us we are all to die by the hands of his master. What say you guys?
His master? What gives this master the right to come threaten us on our property?
His master goes by the name of Scaramouche.
Scaramouche?
Have you guys heard of him?
dude, Syphax is fucking like sitting there like a mouthful. He's like, You asked me the other night what was the most dangerous thing I could think of. I said Scaramouche. That's how my bat starts backing up.
Calm down, Syphax. And so, you say that you're just coming here to warn us, and your master is just gonna hunt us now, right?
It is the most gentlemanly way we can think of doing things.
No. Actually, the most gentleman way to do things would be for your master to come here like you just did, instead of sending someone saying that we're going to be hunted.
Oh, forgive me,
Perhaps
sir.
tell your master to come find us himself, and we can handle this real quick.
Forgive me for the misunderstanding, sir. I can only imagine he will be on his way here promptly, but you must forgive his lack of mobility. He cannot be as gifted as some of the rest of us. I simply have the ability to get here far before he can, so I come bearing the message. I meant no offense.
Well, I'll leave it up to the rest of my bones, but I personally am about to kill you. What say you, Crimson Bones? Shall we spare this man or not?
Mandion Gelden fires his palm pistol immediately.
Should we spare him or not? Like, when you look over your left shoulder, as you just hear the firing of Mandion Gelden's palm pistol as you strike the man. Do you have a desire where you want to strike him? Was there an ideal location?
I'm aiming towards the head, hopefully.
I suspected.
I'm in.
The percussive pop of the palm pistol rings out, and there's a slight puff of smoke and a very, very tiny, like, pinprick of a flash that, you know, it's gone in but a moment. And no projectile is seen as all of a sudden the gentleman is struck in the chest by the .32 caliber palm pistol, digging into his unarmored flesh, dealing a good 5 piercing damage, and the man falls down to the ground, and begins, like, convulsing in a way. You like struck him kind of up in, like, the top of, like, his collarbone area, and that seems to have, you know, really incapacitated him pretty brutally. So everybody's like, oh shit! fucking keeps eating his porridge. I mean, that guy's down, but not out. He's not yet.
Ulzgud hearing the palm pistol go off and seeing him hit the ground will try to end the situation.
So be it. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. You don't have to roll for an attack if you don't want to. He is, he's helpless.
I will stab him in the throat with my short sword.
The deed is done. The blood pools out of the man, and it stains into his dark, once again, rather fine suit, and the man who once went by the name of like Mr. Archibald or something is dead. That's at the hand of the Crimson Bones. Probably a little foolish of him to come in here, but
And Ulzgud will remove a finger from the corpse and search it for anything valuable.
Okay, very good. You can add a human finger.
I'm kind of thinking he's got to have something on him. He just walked out into the fog forest by himself.
Very good. Which finger do you desire to take? You have, he has all 10.
I'll inspect both hands and see if he has a ring on either of his ring fingers.
No, you see no jewelry or finery. But you can make an investigation check if you want to make sure.
Let's see, why not?
And was there anything from you, Skeezewell, Binbag? I heard some murmuring.
Skeezewell wants to run into the scene.
You're there.
And Skeezewell knows Mr. Archibald.
Oh no, that's Mr. Archibald. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, he was a good messenger. Sent a couple messages through him.
Oh boy. Really?
That's a shame. Yeah, he was a skeezer, just like me. I mean, not like me. Yeah, tough luck, old chap.
Skeezewell says.
Alright, let's check him for gold.
Skeezewell will
Mandion Gelden would like to insight check Skeezewell Binbag on this matter.
Yes!
On fire now.
Okay, all right. So how this is gonna go is you guys are gonna like contest. You guys are gonna roll contesting rolls for this shit. So Skeezewell Binbag, unless what you said, unless you think that's really genuine, you can roll a deception check, and Mandion Gelden, you can roll an insight check.
I relish the opportunity.
Me too. I've been waiting like 30 episodes for this.
I'm first, right?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Skeezewell Binbag is full of shit. He is just talking shit. He is just talking shit right now. You know it. You had that little conversation with him the other night about like what's up with him, where is he from, and he very quickly hand waved that shit away. You're watching his ass, Mandion Gelden, and you catch him in the lie again. Yeah, there's no way you knew this fucking guy. He's just fucking, like what? So like, why would he lie about such a thing? Your mind, you hone in on it, and start analyzing that, really probably quite needlessly, that small detail, and you're like, maybe I'm overthinking it. And you're like, no, Skeezewell Binbag just wants that gold for himself. You know it.
And I say it out loud, telling Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, hey, I've known this guy longer than you. I know he's talking shit right now.
No, Mr. Archibald, yeah, he was pretty important. We went back, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not buying it, Skeezewell. You could take your gold, but the next quarry is ours.
Oh no, Ulzgud does not get out of the way. He is taking the loot.
I don't want to be confused. Skeezewell was helping Ulzgud the whole time.
If fucking Ulzgud doesn't want help, then it's fucking,
Hearing the lie, he does not want the help.
Damn. Fuck. I mean, you get a scowl. You get like a growl, fucking Skeezewell Binbag, as you approach what is now the kill of like a lion, and you are but a hyena. Attempting to.
Will have to wait their turn.
If you.
Skeezewell push to the sideline.
You know, you could escalate it, but that's probably a good place to with that one. Tension's flying a little high. That being said, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, as Mandion is, you know, assuring you of Skeezewell Binbag's deceit, and Skeezewell Binbag's, you know, is like looming over your shoulder before he eventually wanders off a little ways. You are rather dismayed to find absolutely nothing on this dude. He came in here with but the clothes upon his back.
Huh.
Indeed.
Well, Ulzgud being Ulzgud, he's gonna start chopping the body up for wrapping.
For what?
Happens.
Are you gonna eat him?
It's meat. He is half orc after all.
Hey. It is what it is. y'all can eat whoever y'all can murder and eat whoever you want. That's like,
Damn right.
Whatever. I can't stop you. fucking Brent Ryger's like, you know, Sci-Fac's like, he's trying to eat. So they're both done as you start just like, you know, just start hacking this human to death, or well, you know, just hacking this dead human apart for meat. Make me a survival check, you sick animal. It better not be a crit either.
Grunting to himself, still mad about the no stuff being on the guy. He's just coming here with nothing. I'm gonna take something.
You're stepping on his shoulder, and it's like ripping his fucking arm out with your hands. It's like a complete, just ripping him like an animal. A disturbing display was Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. I really think nothing more need be said than that. Everyone's perturbed by this. And you have 3 raw rations of human meat, all said and done, that you think will be, you know, something. Plus whatever digit you desired to take from his hand. If not all of them, or, you know, whatever. Whatever you desire.
His left ring finger.
So be it. It is done. The butler, the supposed messenger of Scaramouche, killed and hacked apart. And we're not even at noon yet.
Yes.
Okay, Crimson Bones. Your bloodlust hopefully satiated for now. What's everyone else up to as Ulzgud Bone-Breaker is ripping Mr. Archibald to death?
Bloody savages not sharing, cutting up human meat.
Skeezewell kicks a rock as he stands aloof, dejected.
Damn.
Mandion Gelden turns away from the mess and Skeezewell and turns to Brandon walking away and says, we need to find who can move this tree. We're not safe here.
Man, the only one who's gonna move this tree is Lokir Bitterroot.
Where is he?
If Lokir doesn't appear, we're gonna have to abandon. He said he's gonna move us to Garza. Wasn't gonna make it too public, but we're kind of stuck here. Mandion Gelden starts to jog back to the tree so he can get in his suit, feel more safe.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Brandon calls that after you as you make your way into the great tree, where Scythax is. He's like, "Damn, you guys killed that guy. That was fucked up."
Skeezewell running past towards the tree, says to Scythax,
Yeah, you're right, Scythax. We should loot what we can now.
Well, I don't know about that. Let's not get too crazy. Skeezewell Binbag.
Skeezewell says it in passing, running after Mandion Gelden.
Okay. A few minutes passing here. Let's see, I would say a good 5 or so. And you gentlemen are left in the atmosphere pretty much of the great tree. Mandion, you get your suit on with a little delay. Especially if Skeezewell Binbag is able to assist. It's certainly up to him.
Skeezewell Binbag.
Very good.
But you know, it is what it is. And you gentlemen, yeah, I mean, you gentlemen have your wits about you. Everything is quiet and as usual for now. And at this time, Ulzgud, you are wrapping up your chores, or you know, well, you're whatever you're doing over there.
Ulzgud would like to take a final second to get some blood on his hands from the dead body and just write a little message in blood.
Oh.
Your quarry is this way, and do a little arrow pointing to the tree.
Ooh, damn.
Meant to leave that for Scaramouche.
Damn, getting creative now. Shit. Okay. Very good. It will be done. And, I don't know. The tree atmosphere is rather quiet, gentlemen. The chickens slowly begin making their way back out, into the open. Their necks are kind of elongated, checking out the corpse of this butler upon the swamp ground. Yeah, you know, they're definitely checking out that dead body. Like, oh shit. But other than that, gentlemen, you're seemingly left to your own devices for the day. Mandion Gelden, you did weave off on a rather sick crafting project for Skeezewell Binbag.
It is true. I was thinking about continuing that until he lied to my face. But I don't want the metal to go to waste, and I feel that is more of an affront, so I will continue it, because I can do it outside and get myself some air.
Okay, very good. Well, if anything else to do, you know, really pressing, you go about doing that. Everyone else, what are you guys up to? Is there any? Are we business as usual here? What's going on?
Ulzgud's gonna start cooking up that human meat.
Oh, disturbing. So be it. Give me another survival check. As a testament to the to your ability. Oh shit! You roast the human meat perfectly, almost like you've done it before. And you have 3 cooked rations of human meat, separate from your regular rations. It should be said. But you know, pretty much the same. And you think you've come away with some pretty tasty looking delicacies that you don't think anyone will be stealing off you anytime soon.
You know me.
Okay, gentlemen, and with that, let's see, Mandion Gelden, you're beginning your continuing your crafting
Addle.
session.
I have this pelt. Can I like can that pelt or
Sure.
like process that pelt?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Fucking, let's get a survival check from you, Master Binbag.
Alright. Yeah, I want it to be like a nice sellable pelt.
Ooh. Do you know what the hide is? Pray tell?
I think it's a bear pelt.
Oh, is it like a portion of like the bear?
That
You-
might be from the.
It was-
You trying to get it from? I remember you tried to rip one off of something that was really hard to rip off.
Do I really have a unicorn's pelt though? That's kind of crazy.
That's what I
Oh,
was asking.
shit.
Was it from that?
No.
Did you get that from that? No.
No.
Then
No.
it must be the bears. The bears were the only thing after that.
Or the
Oh, wow.
wolves. There were the wolves.
I
Oh,
don't
Did
think
you-
we got pelt off of. No.
Damn. Well,
I mean,
it
It's
doesn't
either
really
a
matter.
wolf or a bear.
it's 20 pounds, so it has to be a big one, right?
Holy shit. I mean, that is a lot.
Gotta be a bear then at that point, yeah.
Damn, dude. Yeah, you know what? Fine, let's call it a bear pelt, and you can get started on that bitch, Skeezewell Binbag. It'll probably take you, about the rest of the day. But you know what needs to be done to make this a nice sellable object.
All right, that's what I'm gonna do then.
Okay.
How much is that something that is? I don't know. I don't know what I'm asking. I want to update the item, but is it not soon enough? Is it too soon?
You can call it a bear pelt. Finished or like whatever right now. Yeah. We can call it a done product, and in lieu of anything else crazy happening today that would interrupt you.
And bear pelt.
Might as well. That being said, let's see. I think that's about it. I think we have our routine for the rest of the day, Sweet Crimson Bones, as we push our way through it. Let's see here. Getting just shy of dinner time now. And you have finished your metal addle, Master Mandion, for Sir Skeezewell Binbag.
Very good. I will bring it to Sir Skeezewell and tell him that I forgive him for his deception earlier today. To take it as a peace offering.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, well, so be it. Very good. Let it be known, the metal addle is added to Master Binbag's inventory. Master Binbag, it works a little bit differently than your usual items. This actually gives you a global damage modifier and a global attack modifier that you can enable when you are making an attack with the addle. Basically, if you want to like throw a javelin or a spear or anything, you can just throw them as usual with the global damage modifier and global attack modifier for the addle enabled.
That's very nice.
And we'll see how that works.
Can I do some? All right, testing.
Yeah,
testing.
sure. Yeah. You want to test it out? Give it a shot. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you got plenty of room here in just outside of the Great Tree for some testing, action. Take a little bit to get used to. But you think you can get it after a few more tries.
Look at this with the check marks. Could I turn those on
That's
because I'm
the
using it?
modifiers, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, so modifier is now on.
nice. You give it a regular toss, and you don't do too well, and you go for this one, and you think you've got it, and it just kind of like flips up and outward. It's it's an acquired taste, but for a second you felt like it had some really nice power. You think it's just gonna take a little bit of practice, but yeah, this thing will work.
That's sick. Thanks, Casey.
Of course, of course.
Even after, you know.
That's
That spiraled out of control for me. I didn't know how to.
That was good. That was good. That was good. I'm glad. Well, we need to.
There was another awkward as the first.
You have a similar issue with this one. Might just be something about your technique. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to flex this muscle. You're gonna have to relearn how to throw, basically, with this thing. You know. It's gonna be a bit more on the demanding side, but once you get it, you think it's gonna be pretty sick. Okay, so that's finished. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. Is there anything that you want to work on when you were done cooking your human meat?
Yeah, he's just gonna grab Syphax and
Ooh,
we're gonna go outside and just hit a little workout together.
nice, dude. Nice, dude. Syphax is down.
Come on, Syphax. We got some push-ups and sit-ups to do.
Heck yes. Count me in. Yeah. He puts out a decent display. Nothing too crazy. He keeps up.
We doing strength?
I'd say. Yeah, if you want to. Well, about what I expected. About what I expected.
Hell yeah.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's see.
Ulzgud just shoots the shit with Syphax while they're working out. So, Scaramouche, eh? How you feel about him coming after us?
No, not good. Not good, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. I mean it, man. You ripping that guy apart, dude, was pretty crazy, man.
It was pretty crazy of him to walk up here at us like that.
I mean that is true. That is true. I can't knock you guys for not liking that, but who man, Scaramouche is one bad customer.
Tell me why.
I don't think he's ever been defeated in combat.
Ulzgud smiles at that.
It's pretty serious. It's pretty serious.
What kind of combat are we talking? Are you talking straight fisticuffs, or are we talking swords?
I'm not too sure exactly which arena he came from. I think maybe somewhere out west. But the way I hear it, he can fight with his hands. He can fight with 2 blades. He can fight with a huge, long, 10-foot, pole arm. He's a master of many different techniques. And he's never been defeated. Not when he was in his entire arena career. Not when he retired from that and became an adventurer. And not after he's retired from being an adventurer. And started doing whatever he's doing now.
Well, Syphax, if you want to stay with us, looks like we're gonna have to kill this guy.
It's gonna be pretty hardcore. One thing for sure is we're gonna have to show him no mercy. If it comes to that, he ain't gonna be showing us any.
There was never any mercy to begin with.
Oof.
If he steps foot here, it's on.
I'm afraid it will be. When you guys continue, getting this bit of a workout in. Let's see, what else? I would say probably another hour or two, or when we're about at the dinner phases, the sun is truly beginning to set, and the ambient coloration of the inner sphere of this low-tier bitter space is beginning to dull and and cool, and its lighting and temperature and starting to dim. Nighttime is seemingly coming upon the party. Master Binbag, you've of course completed your day's work of effort, getting a bit of addle tosses in between your what is basically a tanning spree. Do you think you've got something that would be pretty presentable at market, should you ever make your way there anytime soon?
Nice.
And with this, Crimson Bones, you are granted some dinner by Waldwin and Quagon. For all those who desire to eat. You all eat around in the interior of the Great Tree. Once again, is anything in particular being said before we close off for the evening?
Mandion Gelden is going to be playing with his palm pistol while he's eating, and he's going to be discussing with Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. Is hey, see what this thing did out there earlier? That's pretty crazy. Only wish I put him down quicker. Maybe there's something I can do to make a better version of this. Some more stopping power.
Need bigger projectiles.
Oh, you're right.
If you want to stop something my size, I need
Bigger projectiles, more projectiles, louder booms. Let me see what I can put together. You never know. Want to have more time and more space. Mandion Gelden's going to ponder that idea for the evening while he's munching out his food.
Okay. Okay.
Ulzgud is going to go for a little walk, just patrolling the tree.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
By himself.
Very good. Very good. You bid adieu to Syphax as he's as you guys are in having dinner and so on. You bid farewell to the Crimson Bones for now and head off on a little excursion of your own. Yeah, I would say there is no chance of you not noticing it. The butler's body is missing.
Well, I'm outside the tree.
You're outside the tree. You part the beaded curtain, and pretty much right in front of you, because it's, the scene happened pretty much right in front of the great tree. The body is missing where it was, for as long as you remember it.
Ulzgud will immediately let the rest of the party know. There's a good chance we're not alone, and be ready for anything at any time. The body is gone.
Syphax like, oh man, this ain't good.
Mandion Gelden almost considers staying up all night so that he's in a suit, but he knows at some point he's going to need to sleep. He's going to volunteer to take Fert's watch tonight. As
Indeed.
He's worried it's going to come sooner rather than later.
Indeed, the Crimson Bones considering taking watch in the domain of the Great Tree, something not previously considered necessary.
Yes.
May very well be so all of a sudden.
They know where we are.
I'll stay up with you, Mandion. Don't worry about it.
I don't know if it'll take more than one of us. I mean, I appreciate the company.
Well, I guess that is true.
Ulzgud will offer for second watch.
Okay, so be it. Brandon Ryger offers to take up the watches for the rest of the night. After your watch, Master Bone-Breaker, as he has the ability to, he says, for lesser, he's just able to, withstand a bit less sleep than those who can't. Kind of similar to Syphax. So with that, Crimson Bones, you head off to bed for the evening, unsure of what you may encounter in the night. Mandion Gelden, I'd like a perception check from you, please, as your watch officially begins.
Yes, sir.
Well, where do you host your watch? Are you just sitting in the great tree? Or are you doing like an
ground floor
external?
of the great tree. I'm kind of like setting up a chair by the entrance, but sitting
Okay.
inside facing the interior, so I can
Okay.
have a listen.
Very good. Very good. You don't make out much.
Good.
Yeah, it seems relatively quiet and uneventful, and before you know it, a good few hours are passing, and it's time for Master Bone-Breaker to be roused before you know it.
I will rouse him and get my suit off before I head to bed.
Ah, very good, very good. When you take your suit off, Mandion and Gelden, fully disembarked from it, something catches your attention. There is something in your mind, kind of just like poking at the back of your brain. With all of you, there's been a lot of different stimulation happening today, and your mind can't help but wander. But it hones on something in particular as you are exiting your suit. Your vision is drawn to the back left knee of your suit, where you were kind of fiddling around with before. And the urge kind of comes over you to fiddle with it again before bed.
Me and Gelden, ever interested in a suit, will cave and fiddle with the suit before bed.
Make a investigation check, Mandy and Gelden. For fiddling. About what I expected. about what I expected. Yeah, there's this small kind of like finger-sized recess that like goes up into like the back thigh from where the knee is, and you felt that there was some type of like plunger or a button type thing that you could push up to a certain degree, and it feels to you like, you know, it's far too intentional for it to be, you know, this like moving piece here, you know, that's just sitting ambiently. It doesn't make any sense. And then that's when you feel around and you find that the right knee, indeed, on the back of the right knee, there's also a similar recess that you can feel up there. It has a very similar little mechanism that would seemingly be activated in a similar way if you desired to do so.
I would like to try to.
Ah,
I'm
good.
curious.
Very good. You press one up and then the other simultaneously, and at some point they click in further, and you hear a very distinctive, you know, like mechanical click of, you know, something, you know, occurring. And you retract your fingers, you know, rather quickly out of nervousness that perhaps, you know, you will not be able to leave that small compartment that you've shoved your fingers into. But they come out rather quickly. And from the back of the calf muscles, like a seam begins to open in each one. Kind of like these like almost like hydraulic doors that slowly open to like to a 50-degree angle, and there's this coolant, like almost like liquid nitrogen effect that kind of flows off and onto the ground as these two like compartment slots have been opened at the back of the leg.
Interesting. There's like a hollow compartment?
You peer within, and they're slightly recessed, and then there's like this large like slot in it almost that seems like some other type of you know, like device or perhaps module would fit in there quite snugly, doing something. You have discovered your armor module slots.
Oh my goodness.
Congratulations, Mandy and Gelden.
There's so much I can do with this.
Indeed.
The possibilities.
It's almost endless, and unfortunately, you don't really know where to start. It will require maybe a good few days of brain power, hypothesis, troubleshooting, trial and error, before you're able to come up with some use for these. But another compartment of your seemingly endless suit of tricks has been discovered. Just before you go to bed, which will, will definitely not, probably won't help you sleep. You'll probably be stirring a bit now with just the thought of the possibility. But you
So
can
much to think about the machining. It's so exact.
You can also rest a bit more satisfied knowing that you've discovered some new piece of your armor today.
Beautiful.
And how exciting it could be. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you are making your way down into the central chamber of the Tree of Lokir Bitterroot. Where do you desire to take post for watch tonight?
Ulzgud goes to the front step.
Ooh, very good. You part the bead curtain, and you can see some of the poultry that are around, kind of stepping up on some of the larger roots that are protruding out from the marshland, keeping themselves dry in the night, their heads tucked under their wings, in their own little world. And the Tree of Lokir Bitterroot is as peaceful as any other night. A pleasant chill, and the wind finds you excellently. Give me a perception check, Master Bone-Breaker, as you're getting settled into this position. Quite good, quite good. Not much comes of your watch. A good 2-3 hours come, and a good 2-3 hours go, and nothing happens at all. Indeed, it seems a bit uneventful. Not quite what you were anticipating. And that is when you hear creaking of floorboards behind you. Turn quickly to see Brandon Ryger. He's like, I'm here to relieve you of your watch, Master Bone-Breaker.
All right.
Have you seen anything?
Thanks, Brandon. Feel free to wake me the moment you see something.
Have you seen anything?
Rather quiet. A little chilly. Almost too quiet.
I understand what you mean. I'll be keeping a watchful eye.
Ulzgud will go to bed.
Very good, very good. You pound back up the stairs off to bed. And find yourself sleeping again rather comfortably. In spite of the activities that occurred today. A few more hours pass, and eventually, Crimson Bones, you are roused to the crowing of chickens in the morning, and the warm atmosphere of the Tree of Lokir Bitterroot, rises once again. And you gentlemen are left to your own devices. Breakfast needing to be had by all.
I suppose I'll have some breakfast. I'll have one normal meat ration.
Another ration for Syphax going down the drainer. Ooh. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. You're gonna love this. You go to eat your human meat, and it's gone.
Oh no.
Gone. I don't know if you would have noticed it yesterday, but it would have been gone by the time the body was gone.
Ulzgud really wanted to eat that.
Sorry, Master Bone-Breaker. Yeah, seemingly through no fault of your own, it's fucking vanished.
I'm going to eat one regular ration then, and go off into the woods and break some stuff.
Very good. Very good. I hate to tell you as well, but you probably already assumed the finger is gone as well. Any
Oh, yeah.
components of the butler are gone. And with Ulzgud starting off his morning on a bit of a sour note, no one's really too sure what's done at this time. The Crimson Bones are left to their own devices once again. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, as you are out thrashing and mashing, you spot something off in the distance out of the corner of your eye as you're rearing back for your nice eighth swing upon this abandoned stump on the fringe of the Lokir Bitter territory. You spot something out of the corner of your eye. It seems to you like a white bird.
Where is the bird located?
I would say it'd be off to your right, probably a good 200 feet or so away. It's pretty sizable, and it's just within like the canopy of the trees of the Lokir Bitter Swamp, kind of gliding along in between the trees, headed in the way of the Lokir Bitter house.
I will just try and get back to the house and see where it's going.
So be it. So be it. Mandion Gelden, after breakfast this morning, what are you up to?
Mandion Gelden would like to start drawing a blueprint of the armor module sections so we can get a better understanding of it, and maybe even outsource some of the work if I find a blacksmith in a town or something like that, and say, hey, I just need a metal part that'll slot into this area, and then I can make the module from there.
Interesting. Okay. Very good. You know, I won't make you make a check for that. Seems like you have a pretty clear idea of what you want from that.
Very
so
good.
you can add something, you know, of that effect to your inventory and put like a percentile thing there.
Cool.
But you know, that should be something you could be able to take care of in like a few hours, I would say.
Cool.
You know, exciting. Master Binbag, anything for you in particular after breakfast?
Skeezewell.
If nothing, that's fine. I figured I'd just, you know, give you the opportunity.
Yeah, Skeezewell's got some time for some scrimshaw.
A little scrimshaw action. Very good. So be it.
How many hours?
Well, I will let you know.
Okay.
So far one. So far you can add 1 extra hour. As Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, Mandion, where are you doing your schematical drawings, Breton? Just.
I'm gonna do it where I was putting the suit. Was I putting the suit on the ground floor up from where I was sleeping? Is there even enough room up there?
I would say there's enough room up there, yeah, because you know, the suit
I was
is like
imagining
standing
it
up.
being up there, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do it near where I was sleeping.
So be it. Skeezewell Binbag, are you in the company of Mandion Gelden, or are you down in the ground floor with presumably everyone else?
Yeah, Skeezewell's actually outside, you know, embracing the chickens.
Yes, which are more than curious and rather playful, and you know, a kind atmosphere. Most certainly.
Skeezewell carves a couple chickens into the worm tooth.
Very good.
Ooh.
Very good. So be it. I'll allow it. Skeezewell, you would probably know as you are as you are scrimshawing out of the corner of your eye, this large white bird that comes making its way over toward the porch of Lokir Bitterroot, at a bit of a considerable speed. The chickens, kind of raise up their head and turn an eye to the beast, watching it closely. And Brandon Ryger makes his way down the porch steps, as Ulzgud Bone-Breaker can be seen just over in the fringe of the woodline, closing rather quickly as well. Brandon Ryger stands with his arms folded in front of the porchway as this. What you can see, Skeezewell and Ulzgud to be like looks like a big white owl of some kind, a big wingspan of probably 8 feet or so.
Is it familiar to Ulzgud?
Yeah. It's probably Lokir Bitterroot, if you had to guess. You hope against hope that it's fucking Lokir Bitterroot, that's for sure.
Sure do.
And sure enough, the large owl creature comes swooping in toward Brandon Ryger, and there is a flurl of the feathers all of a sudden, almost like something is wrong with the creature. And the feathers quickly meld into fabric and into one continuous material, and it is unveiled to be robes surrounding the mighty, dank Lokir Bitterroot,
Yeah.
who displays himself and comes to a bit of a jogging walking halt. My friends, how many years has it been? Lokir Bitterroot proclaims outward, and Brandon Ryger just stand there, kind of yes, Arch Druid Bitterroot, it is good to see you. Brandon Ryger, I didn't expect you to be here after all these years. Where's Ulzgud Bone-Breaker? And I said, the figure turns, his mushroom hat flopping, turns to face you, Ulzgud, as you are making your way, and are upon Lokir Bitterroot in but a moment.
Master, it's great to see you again.
Oh, my boy, come here! And he gives you a big old slimy Lokir Bitterroot hug.
Ulzgud embraces it.
He feels a bit stronger than when you were, when you last felt him in any type of way. You were carrying his frail body to bed. Now you see him now, and he's embracing you in this way. You can feel the musculature of Lokir Bitterroot has improved, in some way or another.
Good.
Definitely something you would notice. He's like, you look fine, my lad, fine. Please come inside. I have much to tell. Where's Skeezewell Binbag? Where's Mandion and Gelden?
Ulzgud yells for everyone to gather around.
Now, Skeezewell, you take note of the commotion, and we're probably on your way. But if not, I'm sure the beckoning of Ulzgud Bone-Breaker will bring you coming.
What the bloody hell is that? Skeezewell puts away his scrimshaw.
Mandion, you are. You know what, Mandion? Make a sleight of hand check for me, real quick. Cause I wouldn't say you're quite done. So this could have the potential to ruin your schematic. No, it doesn't. You hear this disturbance, and instead of going and fucking up everything at the last second, you're like, oh, okay, they're not gonna calm down until I get down there. let me get my shit together. What are you up to? What are you up to, Mandion? Anything other than that?
I will head down, regrettably without my suit.
Okay, so be it. Okay. Yeah, Mandion, you were greeted by Lokir Bitterroot, and the rest of the Crimson Bones, as they were all gathered around in the interior. Syphax is sitting along the table, and Brandon Ryger is kind of leaning up against the main door sill, like a cool kid. as Wilkie Bitterroot's just kind of gesturing, and all the chickens are trying to, you know, they're like all like stacked, you know, like on the outside of the beaded curtain. They're like looking in through the windows, you know, like wherever you would normally see daylight, there's just like, you know, like chickens, like look, you know, they're very pleased to have Wilkie Bitterroot back here as well, clearly. Well, Pagon and Walden must be out running errands. No matter. Oh. I have many things to talk about, my dear Crimson Bones, but let's get some tea first, shall we? I've been on the road for far too long.
Oh, could use a good cup.
Very good, Master Binbag. And he goes about preparing and you know, rummaging, and gets you all a fine cup of tea that comes in like these little almost like these wooden cups that are like grown to be, you know, like what they are. They're not like cut down to anything like that. There's like bark on the exterior of them and so on. It's very interesting, you know, perhaps magical cups even. And Brandon's like, no, thank you, Wilkie. I appreciate it. He's like, well, I'm afraid I have things that you won't appreciate.
I'll take that.
No, of course, Master Binbag. There's plenty for you. And on the 29th of last seed, Wilkie Bitterroot has returned. It's like, Syphax, fetch me the ball of wonder. And Syphax is like, okay. And Syphax just like opens up a drawer. And yeah, like, Wilkie turns his back to Syphax, and while Wilkie addresses you guys, and Syphax just kind of like over his shoulder, like opens up a drawer. He's like, opens up, you know, he's just opening up random drawers, like looking for whatever, the ball of wonder or whatever. And eventually he pulls out like this silver one. He's like, here you go, Wilkie. And Wilkie Beer is like, no. And Syphax was like, like all of a sudden Syphax just like loses his ability to speak as he's talking to Wilkie Bitterroot. And Wilkie Bitterroot grabs the orb out of his hand. That's the orb of confusion, you fool! And he puts it back in the drawer, and takes out this other orb. He's like, sit down, Syphax, useless. And Syphax is like, you know, kind of a little dejected from that, unfortunately. Grab the wrong orb, it is what it is. It's fucking, you know, it's real danger around here. And Wilkie Bitterroot addresses you all once again, now holding what is familiar to you all as the Ball of Wonder. A crystal ball, almost, that he used to show you all visions. I think on the first time that you gentlemen arrived here, he's like, I have seen much, gentlemen. Allow me to show it to you. Mandion and Gelden, I have what you may desire most. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, I have for you to see perhaps your greatest challenger. And Skeezewell Binbag, I have for you to see perhaps your greatest fortune.
Gold.
Indeed. And that is where we will take our break for right now, gentlemen.
Oh,
Yeah. Yes, I can confirm.
Where we last took our break, the Crimson Bones had a interesting time indeed. They were waiting for hopefully Wilkie Bitterroot to return, and he has done just that. When it seemed you gentlemen were getting a bit nervous as to having to watch the great tree, finally its owner has returned. And he wields out before you all as you sit around in the interior table of the great tree, as you've done before, a ball. And he places the ball down upon a small stand in the center of the table, very reminiscent of what he did before. What would be, I think, only like a week ago now or so? It would have been a week or two. Something to that effect. And Wilkie Bitterroot kind of shuffles his way over to a small mantle area and grabs that jar of black ichor that you know to be like dram juice of some horrible caliber, and he goes about wielding it very, very, very carefully, and opens it a little bit and allows a single he allows 3 drops to fall down onto this crystal ball, the ball of wonder, as it's sitting in this small stand. And as the ink drops strike the ball, it almost kind of like stains it in this even way that forces the crystal ball to be black. Lokir Bitterroot proclaims, "Now, gentlemen, as you've done before, gaze into the ball of wonder, but be wary of what you may find."
Skeezewell rushes to the front of the line. Yeah, let me see the gold.
You're all sitting around the table, so you guys can all lean in at the same time.
It seems Skeezewell wants to meld his skull with the ball. He stares so deeply into it.
That's the spirit. Lokir Bitterroot says,
Go.
It's your perspective, Master Binbag, as you're staring into this crystal ball. The perspective kind of envelops you with like this darkness, and you find yourself being temporarily lost as you make your way into your trance. Does everyone else gaze into the ball of wonder?
Yes.
I will.
I can only assume so. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker and Mandion, you guys have a similar effect of darkness taking you. And for this segment, I will actually be speaking to you each individually to tell you what you guys see in the crystal ball, because you will, well, I don't want to say you'll all see a different thing, but, you know, it seems perhaps, you know, probably likely. So who's up for going first?
Skeezewell.
No, actually, I would want someone else to go first. I want to be first in the sequence, but not necessarily hold first.
Very well. So be it.
Go for Ulzgud.
Ulzgud Bone-Breaker will go first. So be it. So be it. Okay. Now, of course, it was good, and Skeezewell, you guys are sharing a room right now, so it's up to you guys if you want to eavesdrop on each other's visions. This is the opportunity I will give you guys now to, you know, make that decision, whatever. I don't really care, you know, truth be told. I imagine you guys will share your visions with each other, you know, more than likely. But, you know, that's up to you guys.
Ulzgud's soaking it all in.
So with that meaning, Gelden, you'll have a few minutes to yourself, I believe. And we will return probably only like 2 or 3 minutes.
Sounds good.
Welcome to the Game Master's chambers. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker.
That's me.
You are bearing witness to a incredible vision. You find yourself, your perspective, as it were. You find yourself up in the air, almost as that of a bird, very reminiscent of the beast sense firefly ritual that you performed just the other day. This is a very similar sensation of you being through the air and having like an aerial perspective. You can see what you believe to be the grand plains of Atla, and kind of just a general landscape of beautiful green rolling hills and meadows. The likes of which you've seen before. And you spot this figure on the road, heading in a particular direction, about to reach a crossroads, as it were. almost unsure of which direction to look, you focus in on this individual, getting closer and closer until the detail finally comes in when you're about 20 feet or so away. Your ability to see in this state is muddled, and your vision is blurry, but you're coming up from behind this individual now, kind of up over their shoulder over yonder. What you see, it looks to you to be a humanoid of some kind, likely a man. Seems like a fairly formidable warrior. They're clad in green armor from head to toe. Seems to you like a pretty heavy, medium to heavy armor. Definitely metallic in nature. And made by a fine smith, it seems to you. Upon their head is an Asian, rice-styled, hat that covers the face, to block the sun away, the identity of this figure hidden from you for the moment. You spot a sword on each hip, and slung over the shoulder, one hand resting upon it, a massive pole arm. A great two-handed weapon ending in a bladed head of many jagged edges. The person stops, their cloak catching a bit of the breeze, and you're able to see another arsenal of just knives and weaponry strewn about like the inner rigging of this person, hidden beneath their travel cloak and on their rather poignant green armor, as they turn back, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, and look directly at you before you snap out of your vision, and are brought back to your person. That is that's it. That is what you see. All right.
Intruders.
There. Have no fear. It's all going according to plan. All right. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, whether he was the first to come to his vision or not, I believe that would be Skeezewell Binbag. His vision is concluded. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
So be it. Yeah, welcome to the Game Master's Chambers, my friend.
Whoa.
So, as you are peering into this black-stained ball, it's just void, emptiness overtaking your vision. You all of a sudden find yourself feeling rather cool, and you hear the nearby wind, shimmering, flowing in the breeze. You're high in the air, and you all of a sudden come to your senses as your vision begins to slowly fade in. You can only see about a good almost 20 feet or so away before everything gets rather blurry. But you're high up off the ground, perhaps somewhere. The cool night air striking you, and you can see some stars up high above the clouds. And suddenly your vision is directed downward, and you find yourself falling, rather quickly, descending, it feels to you. The wind getting ever more intense, giving you a feeling of momentum.
You're my wings.
As you were just seemingly, descending quite rapidly, and all of a sudden, you come to a halt, just as you're, as what appears to you to be like a cobblestone street comes into your vision. It's odd. You kind of raise back from this floor that you have this ground you have suddenly encountered, and kind of peer around in a brief like almost like sweeping pan. You have no control of where you're looking, but you're just trying to hone in on what you're being shown, and it's quite dark in this atmosphere, and hard to make out any real detail. But you think you see like houses, buildings, structures surrounding you, near you. But you're on a cobblestone street of some type, with a sidewalk adorning each side and rows of buildings. You're in a town. You're in a city. Some type of heavy urban environment. You see no foliage around you, and there are, in the distance, you barely make out as they're cutting off the horizon of the stars. It seems to you like walls are around you, far and encompassing in every direction. And as you're kind of peering around this landscape, your vision continues to turn and turn, and you can see a hooded figure, their back to you, as they are kind of drifting down the sidewalk of this area and come to a stop before turning and descending down some stairs. And you find this, for some reason, it appears to you perhaps the subject of this vision, as you are drawn toward this figure and find yourself turning the corner rather quickly, anticipating some type of, sudden jolt of, fear, perhaps, of, this being or whatever, to startle you. All of a sudden, the tension mounts quite high as you are following behind this hooded figure as they're descending downstairs. And they do so for quite a while. It feels like minutes you follow this individual down these stairs. And as you're about 10 feet away or so from them, you see their right arm, is raised up, and they feel about on this stone wall, these stairs leading to this small stone wall of some kind, seemingly a dead end. And the figure presses into one of the bricks upon the wall, and the wall begins to shift open and reveal this dark interior. And the figure, with their one arm like laid up along the stone wall, turns to face you, Mandy and Gelden. And it is the milky-eyed, seared, partial flesh of Euron Burnbath.
No.
Your vision all of a sudden is drawn back, and you are able to make out again. It's dark, it's night, but you see like the silhouettes of like houses and like peaked roofs against the night sky, and you see this like blue shimmering wave that seems to be like in between you and the stars, high up in the sky. It's this big blue beautiful wave that slowly begins to fade away, and your vision is returned back to you, and you are brought back to the present in the tree of Lokir Bitterroot. And that is your vision, my friend.
Thanks, I hate it. I mean, very spooky.
Okay. Oops. There we go. Sorry, it was stuck in there. Okay. Skeezewell Binbag. The first to have your vision, but the last to actually perceive it. It is your turn, my friend. Alright, Master Binbag. The darkness of this orb takes your vision, and you see nothing but black. Slowly, your vision begins to fade in back to almost some type of regular way, though it's quite difficult to make out any details quite currently. Anything beyond about like 20 feet or so seems rather blurry. But you are looking at a sandy ground it seems to you. Some type of maybe like the beach or like dunes of a desert. There's this orange yellowish sand beneath your feet, which supports you, as far as you can tell. Though you can't see your body by any stretch of the imagination. And you are drawn back a bit, and you feel like you are rising in the air while looking downward, and your perspective growing wider and wider. It seems to you like you're in a very large, like, crater of some kind, some impossibly large imprint in the earth as your vision pans up, and all around you you can see like a horizon ridge that surrounds you in a uniform size, and then high above you, the blue sky and light clouds. You seem to you like you are in some sunken pit in the desert somewhere. And just as you are getting this feeling of loathing and loneliness from this vast, like, chasm that you seem to be the sole occupant of, there is this, like, black oil substance that begins to pool up from the bottom of this crater, covering something that you see sparkle. It shimmers out to you and glimmers off, twinkling off the sun, something shining in the sand, in what is now this black pool of oil that rises and rises and becomes like a thick, viscous, very, oil-like substance, that eventually encompasses you and takes your vision, Master Binbag. And that is when you are brought back to reality within the great tree, surrounded by your friends once again, but certainly no richer. Okay. The Crimson Bones, having their respective visions, you seem like you are all brought back to reality suddenly, and are checking each other out. Brand's like, they've been out for a few minutes. Are they gonna be okay? Just as you guys are kind of rising to and beginning to interact again. So yeah, they're all right. Ulzgud, can you hear me? Sci-Fi's kind of like waving his hand in front of your face.
Yes.
Ooh, man, you guys were looking pretty zonked out for a second there. I wasn't sure. No, they did fine. They've not their first rodeo. I trust you all saw some disturbing things.
Yes. And Ulzgud pulls out his journal just to jot down and not forget any of these important features that he saw.
Does anyone share their vision with anyone else?
I saw black gold, and I drowned in a pit of it.
I saw a green warrior standing at a crossroads.
Ugh.
What about you, Mandion?
You're on burn bath, is all Mandion Gelden manages to say. He doesn't go into specifics.
Not him.
Look, your Bitterroot kind of nods and is like, It is as I feared and as I've seen as well. There's great terror that lies beyond in your future. Crimson Bones. Well, maybe there's something I'll be able to do to help with that. Brandon Ryger chimes in. Look, your Bitterroot snaps at Brandon Ryger. Brandon Ryger, you mind your place. I didn't ask for your input. And Brandon is like, I'm sorry, Archdruid Bitterroot. I must remind you why I am here. And Wilkie Bitterroot's like, oh shit! Of course! Yes! There is something you wanted from the Crimson Bones, was it not? And Brandon Ryger's like, yeah. Yes, Master Bitterroot, it is true. I've brought the idea up to them in casual, in a passing way, but I would like to make my request official. And Loki Bitterroot's like, yes, of course. How can I be so foolish? After all these years away, I've wasted so much time. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker.
Yes, Master.
I need you to prepare for a great summit.
All right. What will I need?
And Lokir Bitterroot busts out the deeds. He tells you straight up that Brandon Ryger is wants to, like, you know, be before the council of Lokir Bitterroot. You know, like he wants to have like a hearing. You know, and basically what's like, you know, the most like official like capacity Lokir Bitterroot can gesture. Lokir Bitterroot tells you that a Feywild representative will be attending the meeting. So there will be an honored guest coming off the cuff. He explains to you that one of the Crimson Bones will have to be chosen to speak on behalf of the Crimson Bones, as not everyone is going to be allowed in the meeting. Or at least allowed to speak in the meeting. And you, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, will not be allowed to speak on behalf of the Crimson Bones, because you are going to be a representative of Lokir Bitterroot. Unless you want to teach Syphax about, like, you know, how to handle himself in the Lokir Bitter Court, which you could do. That is an option. Lokir Bitterroot tells you that because of Syphax's Wood Elven ancestry, he is a viable candidate for being, like, a court, like, steward, or, you know, or filling the role that you would be, as like the, you know, like court, almost like the bailiff, you know, kind of. So it's up to you if you want to be the bailiff, or, you know, if you want to train Syphax to do it.
I'll take care of that.
Okay, sick. Very good. Very good. There's, you know, the only thing you really have to do is, like, stop anything if it gets too crazy, which likely won't occur. And when Brandon Ryger, who is, like, going to be the primary speaker, is to be introduced, you can bust out his, like, titles and shit and, like, introduce him to the court. Other than that, though, those are your really only real obligations.
Okay.
So I'll bust. Lokir Bitterroot passes you like a scroll with the fucking shit on it. So all you have to do is fucking recite that when Brandon Ryger enters into, you know, the area, you know, and is about to begin his, you know, his bullshit. You bust out that, make it sound dank in front of the Feywild official, and all should be well in the eyes of Lokir Bitterroot. Okay. And with this, you know, like, Lokir Bitterroot seems, you know, pretty excited. He's going on like 1,000,000 miles per hour about, you know, oh, Brandon Ryger, can't wait to, you know, put on this thing for Brandon Ryger, you know, et cetera, et cetera. You know, very animated about the whole thing. And then you're walking out with him, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, as you're trying to take notes of, like, all the you know, the weird shit Lokir Bitterroot wants you to do in this, like, court proceeding. And you watch as Lokir Bitterroot, like, touches into the swamp, with the palms of his hands, and these vines come reaching out for, you know, basically from, like, you know, beneath his wrists, and dig underneath the earth, and from them, you know, they erect out of the soil at certain areas, and it kind of, Lokir Bitterroot kind of makes, like, this small, like, fenced-in area out of, like, you know, like, vines and so on, with, like, a small arch to make, like, an entrance way. And after a good hour or two, this will be a bit more of an evening proceeding. Which Lokir Bitterroot finds a job for pretty much almost everyone to assist with. Mandion, Gelden, will you make an athletics check for me, please?
Sure.
Because you are assigned with Walden and Clagon for getting some large lumber over yonder for to act as like pews for like for the court proceeding.
Okay.
And unfortunately, you find yourself according to that task for the next few hours.
Doesn't sound like an easy job. It's fine.
But it does not run ravage on you by any stretch of the imagination. And it might be a good change of pace for you to get a nice little physical work of that caliber in.
Yeah.
And it's looking somewhat presentable. Skeezewell Binbag, I will have you make a Arcana check, please. As Lokir Bitterroot contracts you to make use of your moving earth abilities to try to make a small stage for the main proceedings to occur on.
6.
Just because it's a 6, it might be just what is needed. To give it the flair. It doesn't really have the sharp edges that a nice stage would have, but it's a nice sizable mound.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Excellent, Master Binbag. Fantastic work. And Lokir Bitterroot erects a small like vine throne up on the top of the mound and sits upon it. Why, yes, this will be quite fine. And a few of the chickens begin to like funnel into the area, and they like get on the pews that you've made, Mandion and Gelden. Seemingly they will at least spectate in the proceeding. There will be a proper audience, it seems, to this.
Very good.
And Lokir Bitterroot's like, I almost forgot. Okay, everyone. Hour warning. Get in your places now. And when Ulzgud Bitterroot goes around, and he mentions to you Ulzgud Bone-Breaker as a last-minute thing during this last hour, you might want to cast Speak with Animals for the upcoming proceeding.
And I will.
Sick. It's kind of cool. You and Lokir Bitterroot kind of pick your respective ritual areas, probably only a good like 20 feet or so away from each other, and make your respective like sea bear circles and start doing all this sick shit. You're impressed, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. Your ritual is like relatively like calm and minor compared to the shit that Lokir Bitterroot is busting out right now. Like he's going insane. Like he's like jumping on both legs and using both hands. Like radically painting with like individual fingers and like doing all like. You're done by the time he's like half done, and he's moving like 8 times as fast as you. Like he's going nuts. He's getting like twigs and moss and rocks, and you can't help but be a little curious about what the hell he's doing. And eventually it becomes quite clear to you as the sun begins to poke through into the area of Lokir Bitterroot, and there is a nice like dusk orange atmosphere hitting into the area now at this time. And a blue portal erects from like the middle of like this sigiled area where Lokir Bitterroot's been working for the last hour or so. And it's this blue like just like powerfully bright radiant portal that appears. Mandion, Gelden, Skeezewell, Binbag, history checks.
Oop. Oop.
Oh shit! Damn, Mandion, Gelden, this is extremely familiar to you. You aren't quite sure exactly where to place it. And then, Skeezewell familiar to you, Skeezewell Binbag. Mandion, Gelden, you know this to like. You saw a portal like this in the Tomb of Gilgamesh. And you're like, oh shit, I don't quite remember in what exact context that was. And then you see what being enters from the portal. A small chicken enters out from the portal, dressed in like a toga, a white toga. A small fez is atop the creature's head. and the chicken looks rather confused. And the portal behind it closes. Mandion, Gelden, Skeezewell, Binbag, especially Mandion, Gelden, primarily Mandion, Gelden, but also Skeezewell, Binbag. You guys recognize this fucking chicken. This is one of the chickens that you saved in the Tomb of Gilgamesh that was captured by the goblins. By the goblins. Before Skeezewell Binbag found the hat of Randall, but after you, Mandion, found your suit, you had a brief interaction where you saved these caged chickens, and they showed you a secret entrance that brought you to the Tomb of Randall, within the Dank Mountain, and that is one of these creatures.
Damn. This is the portal.
How far they've come.
It's all our fault they managed to live this long. Is this portal like the same portal that was being generated that we stopped, or is this like a different type of portal?
That is a different portal. You believe this portal was made when these chickens like left of their own accord.
Okay.
Yeah, this is some, this is some type of nature magic.
Nice. Okay.
Hard to say. And Wokir Bitterroots is, elated. He's like, ah, yes! Welcome! It is an honor to have you! And Wokir Bitterroots is like bowing to this chicken who is, it's like, kind of like looking around, checking out this new environment that it's in. It kind of like, finds the tassel that's like dangling from its fez and like tries to like peck at it a little bit. And just continues on its way, and Wokir Bitterroot guides the chicken down like the center pew aisle, and there is a smaller like secondary like throne with like nesting material that chicken will reside on next to Wokir Bitterroot upon his throne, and off to Wokir Bitterroot's right will be you, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, standing rather stoically and pretty badassly, to a great chicken audience, and then the Crimson Bones in like the frontmost pew. Have we decided, Crimson Bones, who will speak for the Crimson Bones?
Ulzgud would prefer Mandion. He votes for Mandion.
Mandion will arise.
Syphax like, woo, Mandion, yeah! Alright! Cheering you on as a Syphax does.
That's Syphax?
That is the new Syphax, yeah. Yeah.
Same great taste.
Yep. He is a wood elf, so I figured, and he's also he's getting to be a primary character, so I figured I might as well give him the makeover. It's a good deal more representative.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you Skeezewell, Waldwin Clagon, and Syphax are like in the front row, kind of sitting next to each other on this pew, surrounded by poultry. And if we're all ready, the Summit of Brandon Ryger can begin. Everyone's assembled, and Wokir Bitterroot gives the signal. Let's see. Let me change tunes. Let me change tunes real quick. I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know what'll be just right. Probably the classic. Okay. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. You spot Brandon Ryger at the end of the aisle, about to approach the throne of Wokir Bitterroot, and Wokir Bitterroot tells you it's time.
Sir Brandon Ryger, son of Lord Kevin Ryger, first of his name, heir to the throne of House Ryger, Atla-born ranger of the Fog Forest, and captain of the regiment of the renowned Ryger's Rangers. You have called for this summit. Plead for the ears of the Archdruid and his recent band of compatriots, the Crimson Bones. Please approach the Archdruid at this time and enter within the zone of truth so the ceremony may begin in full.
And you see Wokir Bitterroot kind of nods, to you, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, in reassurance of a job well done. As Brandon Ryger begins to stride down the what is now the fireflies have kind of like concentrated in this area to direct the eye over to where it must be lit properly, and the audience is darkened out. As Brandon Ryger strides forth rather proudly, cleanly dressed in his travel cloak and ranger gear, as it's as is his custom, but still looks rather sharp for it. And he approaches kind of just before the mound of where you, Ulzgud, and Wokir are sitting, as well as the Feywild dignitary, of course. And he bends forth, and you can see Mandion Gelden. Oh shit! You know what, Mandion Gelden? You are also up there. I would say you would be standing just like kind of beyond and behind Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. A bit, a good deal on the edge of the stage, but you're still, you are still, definitely up front, and I don't know. Are you a little uncomfortable with having all the eyes on you? Are you an audience? Are you a stage fright man?
Is wishing he had his suit with his visor down, but alas,
you feel a little naked and exposed.
A little bit. He's grown accustomed to being shielded.
You can see Syphax every now and then wave in the audience, and it kind of gives you a bit of, the courage you need to, to remind you that everything's fine, everything's fine. Brandon Ryger kind of takes a knee and bows before all upon the stage, before rising, both hands kind of like cupped. He's got a scholar's cradle going on, as he looks upward to address all of you. Thank you, Archdruid Bitterroot and Council. And he kind of like nods to you, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, and nods his head. I would like to begin by making sure that the record is set straight, as I suspect only a few of you here are natives to the fine island of Atla, and may not know its colorful recent history. It would be unfair for me to ask for your aid any further without informing you of the political landscape of the land, and why I have such need of you, Crimson Bones. I am just one man, but I will attempt to recall the events as they have been told to me, and to enlighten you to my perspective. To the people of this wild, untamed island, the city of Garza is crucial to tens of thousands of lives. Not only is it a gem of commerce, it is a beacon of hope and safety in an otherwise uncertain world, though it has not always been this way. And Brandon Ryger pauses for a moment, before getting down onto both of his knees and putting his hands upon his laps, speaking a tad bit louder, due to the change in his posture, but he is getting set in to tell a tale, it seems to you. 21 years ago, the very first Dark Elves came from the land they call Morrowind, within the continent of Tamriel. A vast land, I'm told, where the sun never sets. I have hardly any memory of the place myself. These Dunmer came not to seek new lives for themselves out of good, will or prosper when they otherwise wouldn't have. They have come to further their own agendas of their masters, no matter the cost. The Dark Elves brought with them their hatred for all those different than them, their attitude towards slavery, and their desire to dominate those that they see inferior, especially the races of Nordic men, who they have a bloody history with. The native Nordic hill tribes of Eastern Atla were no match for the technologically superior, violent, magic-using Dark Elves, who slaughtered any of those who would not become worthwhile slaves. Garza became their citadel of terror. It was a dark chapter in the history of this island. This continued unchecked until the Scourge of Garza 14 years ago, where the Free Folk, under the banner of some of the Nordic gangs that had risen up in the slave ranks, rebelled, kicking the Dunmeri leadership out of Garza and forcing them far to the north, where they have remained since. It was then that Lord Geronimus the Resilient was placed on the throne and named Grand Duke Magnate. It was his idea to turn Garza into a free trade hub and install the guilds the city is famous for, and ever since, the place has prospered in peace. Since that time and now, others have flocked to Atla from Tamriel. Not only poor folk in search of a new beginning, but nobles and kings as well, whose right to rule is no longer recognized under the large empire of legions in that faraway land. This is where my people come from. My house is one of those who came to Atla in search of a new life worth living. There, we found Garza, and after some dealings were made, it was decided that 6 of the mightiest houses would be granted land on the fringe of Garza's territory. These are the great houses of the Grand Plains we know today. To the northwest, we have House Coldwater, led by Russell Coldwater. To the north, House Shatterstone, led by Stephen Shatterstone. To the northeast is House Feller, ruled by Lord Conus Feller. To the southeast, House Ryger, my home, led by Lord Kevin Ryger. To the south, House Sunglass, led by Leroy Sunglass. And to the southwest, House Malver, led by Dreven Malver. Sworn to defend Garza and its people in times of strife and war, but largely independent and not directly controlled by Garza, it has been many years since the great houses were called into battle, and they have grown restless. It is hard to tell which houses still swear allegiance to Garza, as their loyalty hasn't been tested in some time. I suspect the relations of the great houses to be rather poor, as they likely see each other now as competition, and little else. Nevertheless, I tell you this now, mighty council, as I fear the worst. One of the houses of the Grand Plains has been compromised by evil. I know not if it's the Dark Elves to blame, or the horror of Dram the Dark. But based on what the Crimson Bones in my scout's report, it could very well be both. The most recent information leads me to believe that House Feller has willingly turned a blind eye, are incompetent, or are far worse off than I thought, and allowed Dark Elves to ravage their lands unchecked. Unfortunately, I have no proof of this, and that is where I need the help of the Archdruid and his companions, the Crimson Bones. I am too well known by House Stakar, and should I be compromised trying to get too close, I would likely be captured, tortured, ransomed, or killed. Even if I or my scouts were to complete a successful mission, we hardly have an unbiased party, and will likely be looked at with skepticism before the Grand Court of Garza. I need a third party, one whose word would hold weight. I can think of no group more capable than you, the Crimson Bones. I require proof of what is occurring at Kaltong, and if indeed House Stakar and the Dark Elves are to blame. I don't know how long House Starkar will remain around the area. So far, it seems they have been there for a few weeks now, and I have no reason to believe they will move anytime soon. However, I would be foolish to rest on this opportunity to expose them for the criminals that I believe them to be. And Brandon Ryger, after that long spiel, bows his head, and there is silence. It's quite the mouthful. Lokir Bitterroot sits upon the throne. Your words are heard, Brandon Ryger. Spoken truthfully and powerfully. Mandion Gelden. And Lokir Bitterroot addresses you, Mandion, suddenly. Step forward, please, and speak on behalf of the Crimson Bones. What are your thoughts?
Mandion Gelden steps forward. Says, "This news is alarming. I understand Garza's importance. The Crimson Bones may be that party that can help. However, as our party is small, we require unanimous decision. Lokir Bitterroot, do you believe this to be true? You have given us safe haven while in the Fog Forest, and Crimson Bones as a group has learned to trust you."
Thank you, Mandion Gelden. I believe Brandon Ryger to speak the truth, for I have seen much of what he says. Though I cannot say the specifics of mortal men, for they hide behind their stone walls, the likes of which my sight cannot even gaze. But I have felt a darkness, and there is a darkness that stains Garza even now. I pointed you toward Kaltong for a reason, perhaps, even though if I did not know it myself.
With that, Mandion Gelden steps forward and says, "To the Crimson Bones present, please rise if you agree to go on a mission to Kaltong in a tentative contract with this group and council."
As
and
the Crimson...
Mandion Gelden steps forward and kind of raises his hands up.
Skeezewell rises.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ulzgud remains standing.
Syphax rises. Well, Crimson Bones, it seems to me that perhaps Brandon Ryger has been heard. Brandon Ryger, before I allow my compatriots, as well as my apprentice, to perform this quest for you in earnest, I must ask what they will get in return, aside from, of course, the well-being of the people of Garza, which I do not undervalue. Brandon Ryger lifts his head back up. I am prepared to pay upwards of 300 gold to the Crimson Bones for the success of the information I've gathered from Kaltong. Each. And Syphax is like, Syphax loves the thought of that. You see his face light up from across the room, and possibly also Skeezewell Binbag to a degree, I'm sure.
Skeezewell holds his tongue for now.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Mandion Gelden would like to step forward for the group and address Sir Ryger and say, "The group has been needing utilities and space to regroup and craft various equipment. Does your house have these utilities available if we succeed in this mission?"
Yes. The short answer is yes, but the long answer is it's a bit complicated, but the facilities are present, and I would be more than happy to house you. Of course, as you know, House Ryger is not run by me, it is run by my father, who you have yet to meet. I have done all of the speaking on each other's behalfs, and of course the final word will have to be given from him. But I am here without his blessing, and acting on my own accord to fund this project, for I believe that there is foul play involved. House Ryger, technically, is unaware.
Well, if you agree to at least fight that fight for us, then I believe we may have a deal.
I will do all that I can, as long as you do all that you can for me, Crimson Bones.
All Crimson Bones that agree to this, say hear, hear.
Here, here.
Yeah.
And Syphax joins in as well. He's like, here! Woohoo! The Crimson Bones!
And Mandion and Gelden will shake Brandon Ryger's hand for the group in agreement.
Very good. You walk down the mounds, and Brandon Ryger's a little caught off guard, and he rises off his knees promptly and dusts himself off and displays an arm to you, and you guys have a dank, like, you know, firm forearm shake of agreement. And there's a there's this moment, all like the chickens like stand upon their pews and like flap and you know, applaud the only way that they can. And there's a small churning of clucking, and Wilkir Bitterroot rises. Like, yes. Now. It's not all set in stone yet. Of course, if the Crimson Bones see it fit, then it will be as such, Brandon Ryger. But I must assure you that my apprentice will be a member of the Crimson Bones, and should any unnecessary harm come to him, from perhaps your foolish directions or lack thereof, you know you will gain my ire. And Brandon Ryger turns away from you, Mandion, and he's like, yes, Archdruid Bitterroot, I will treat them as they are my own men. And there's a brief pause. Wilkir Bitterroot sits back down upon his throne. What say you? And Wilkir Bitterroot looks to the dignitary, as well as everyone else in the audience as well. All eyes are all of a sudden drawn over toward this chicken with toga, who's been sitting with its fez upon its head and just kind of looking around ambiently. And the chicken stands upon its small like nest podium and begins to orate to the crowd. Unfortunately, for 90% of the Crimson Bones, it is undecipherable. Just you know, it's like, you know, various chicken sounds of all different pitches and calibers. Very hard to decipher what the beast could be saying, but it is seemingly responding to Wilkir Bitterroot in some regard. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you of course are able to understand the foreign dignitary. Yes. The quest of the Crimson Bones will be mighty and strong, and the Feywild will even prosper for it. They have the blessing of the Feywild. Ah, excellent! Wilkir Bitterroot replies once the chicken is done with its chirping. Was good. You get the whole like, shit. Okay. Ah, well, good. Honestly, if he said no, I don't know what we would have done. Well, I conclude this court summit. Brandon Ryger, the ruling is the Crimson Bones will be cooperative in exchange for their just rewards, and not a penny less. And Brandon Ryger bows once again, as the fireflies kind of move out into a more, you know, scattered, uniform, illuminating area. And the summit of Brandon Ryger is concluded, Crimson Bones. Of course, Brandon Ryger is here. He's not going anywhere fast, Mandion. He's still, you know, he's still, you know, very excited and waiting. You can tell he's breathing a little heavy. You can probably tell that was, you know, from what he says, he's putting himself out here a little bit. So, you know, whether he's right or wrong, perhaps too early to say, but it seems like he's taking some risk, at least, and is very happy to have the Crimson Bones. Ulzgud, Wilkir gives you a nod, you know, dismissing you from your duties, from your station, and congratulating you on a job well done, of course. He says, do find me later tonight, Master Bone-Breaker. I have a special gift just for you, my boy. It's so good to see you again.
And I have something to discuss with you, Master.
Ah, joyous. We'll leave it for then. And Wilkir Bitterroot kind of shuffles off, and he kind of like escorts like the dignitary. You see him and the chicken conversing, as they, you know, make their way over back toward like the ritual portal area. As they're doing so, Skeezewell, Binbag, you note the chicken takes note of you and recognizes you and gives you what you think is like a almost like a curtsy with like its wings out, and it nods its head to you briefly for a second or two, and before carrying on its way.
Wait, Skeezewell stops the chicken. Skeezewell goes over to the chicken.
Oh, very good. It's Wilkir Bitterroot is also there. They both like, Master Binbag.
Look here. Please mediate between these two chickens.
And then Skeezewell whips out the chicken from under the hat.
Oh! Wilkir Bitterroot is astonished by the by the small creature, and he's like, "Ah, may I?" And he cups out his hands to receive the small creature.
Nice.
Oh yes. Oh my. Oh, you can hear the small chicken, you know. You know, it's trying to scramble to retain, you know, remain with your person, Skeezewell Binbag, but it seems very, you know, bit reluctant to come. He's like, oh, yes, you're a little feisty. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you can hear Jasper talking shit, dude. He's talking big shit right now to Wilkir Bitterroot. He's like, hey, put me the fuck down, old man. Who do you think you are? like, you know, he's straight up going into Wilkir Bitterroot right now. Wilkir Bitterroot's like, oh, goodness. he puts down the Skeezewell to you. What is the small cheeping creature? Places him by the dignitary. And you can see this larger chicken with the toga and fez, the Feywild dignitary, as you know, as he kind of cheeps and places a small bundle of straw at the feet of the young chick, and the young chick with very chicken behavior. This picks up what would be nesting material and kind of like turns it over each shoulder, placing it upon its body. Yes, Master Binbag, you'll be quite pleased to know he's being awarded medals for his bravery.
Yeah. They better be gold.
A fine catch you have there. Yes. And eventually there's, this... it seems like a small interaction comes to the end, and the small chicken comes yearning over for, yearning to be embraced by you once again, Skeezewell Binbag. So, well, that could have gone better than I thought it possibly could have.
Skeezewell receives the now awarded chick.
Well, seemingly your young chicken has received some accolades, in passing. And the dressed chicken continues with the Wilkir Bitterroot off into the swampy area, and you guys are kind of left with like Brandon Ryger immediately. Is there any? I can only imagine you guys have things to talk to Brandon Ryger about. He's a bit, he's a bit like shook up. He's like, oh, please, Crimson Bones, let's go to the Great Tree and talk.
Yes.
And he leads you gentlemen all over there. And there's some sweet rolls to enjoy, some drinks to be had, and you gentlemen all find yourselves in the interior of the Great Tree. Syphax is out with Quagon and Waldwin, kind of like celebrating and celebrating with the chicken. There's a small kind of like party atmosphere that is being engaged with Lokir Bitterroot out there. It's a bit of celebration. But there's business going down in here, Crimson Bones. Brandon Ryger, is that your attention, gentlemen? What is up for discussing?
Ulzgud approaches Brandon and says, "You want us to go over to Calatong, and you need some proof of these doings. What exactly do you want us to gather for you?"
I don't know. I'm sorry, Crimson Bones. I wish I had more to give you. I haven't been able to go past Calatong myself. But all I know for sure is that there are dark elves there, and the place isn't looking anywhere near as good as it was. Especially the Trident River. Something's up with the river, and I can only assume that the two things are related.
Okay.
I plan on keeping some kind of correspondence with you on your mission, though of course it will be limited as I will be keeping my distance. Perhaps if we keep up a line of communication, we could put our noggins together and come up with something. I'm not exactly sure. I have some tricks up my sleeve, but as far as a specific objective, unfortunately, Crimson Bones, I will not be able to offer you that.
Okay.
It is a bit of an awkward situation, and partially the reason why I haven't brought it before any higher authority. I don't have much solid to go on.
Fair enough.
Is there any other questions or any other clarification I can make for you, Crimson Bones?
Gelden asks, was this your idea for us from the start when you met us, or is this new information?
It's a heavy question, Mandion. Originally, I thought perhaps Beric Dondarrion and his crew could be suitable candidates for, just working with my house in general. But now that he's gone, I've gotten a... Truth be told, Crimson Bones, I was interested in you in the moment I laid my eyes on you, when you were facing down those dire bears by the riverbed. Indeed. You got my attention certainly then. And ever since I've been impressed. I've been very impressed and very eager to see what more you can do. But more so, perhaps I was worried that maybe you wouldn't go in quite the right direction. Not that it's my place to guide you, of course. I'm not sure. It's complicated. I've had high hopes for you, Crimson Bones.
I do appreciate your honesty. I just want no deception in these matters.
Of course. Of course.
All right, let's talk mileage fee. Crimson Bones LLC charges a mileage fee.
Huh. That's gonna be a hard bargain. Not that you guys really have that much of a distance to go. What are you proposing, Skeezewell Binbag?
Oh, it's low. It's just silver piece a mile.
That's affordable.
we strive to be.
Well, I'm hesitant to agree to such a thing, but I'd be open to the idea.
Our methods of measurement are surefire. We've got diagrams already made up for a measuring device. All new technology, of course.
Yeah, my father's gonna love you. I'll pay whatever price it takes, Crimson Bones. You're the only people I have to turn to, and I am thankful that you would even turn your ear to me. Though I do warn you, crossing these dark elves would be no small matter, and I would advise you to tread lightly in general, in lieu of getting any permanent stains on your reputation, let's say. There's only so much you can do, but something to think about. Brandon Ryger explains that he will be staying at the Great Tree for another day or so. So if any other questions or whatever need to be now, if anything needs to be hashed out then, it could probably be done tomorrow. Unless anyone had anything else, you know, I think we're pretty good to move on from this interior scene.
I just got one more question for Brandon before
yeah.
we go.
He's here.
Unrelated to the subject, though. I just would like to ask him, have you, in your travels, heard of a scaramouche?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm afraid so. It is
What do
no...
you know of them?
I've heard he's never been defeated, and he is no light caliber foe. I heard he competed in what was the grand arena of the Imperial City before mysteriously disappearing one day and arriving to our fine island. He was a proud adventurer and fought alongside the likes of Beric Dondarrion. But no one's seen him in the last few years, and all of a sudden he's come back, seemingly with other motives in mind. It is grim, Crimson Bones, to hear that he haunts your path. I can only imagine Dram the Dark is involved.
Mandion Gelden shudders.
All right, well, thank you for the info.
It's the least I can do. I'll be upstairs if you need anything else. I need to take myself a bit of a breather. And Brandon Ryger retreats upstairs for the evening. And you gentlemen kind of head outside to enjoy the festivities. And that is when Mandion Gelden, as you're the last to exit the interior of the Great Tree, about to part the bead curtains, and Wilkir Bitterroot beckons you from within. Come, Mandion, before you go. And then you turn, and there's Wilkir Bitterroot. I have something for you. Come here, my boy.
Mandion Gelden will follow Lokir. What is a Lokir? That's something else?
I have but a gift for you, my boy. Though it may not seem like a gift at first, you must trust me with this. I believe it will only be for your benefit. Well, perhaps I'm getting ahead of myself as he reaches over and grabs that black jar of ichor from the mantle.
Don't know.
I ask you draw your device, Mandion Gelden, and strike me down
Excuse me? What
It
do you
is
mean?
true. I ask that you use your weapon to wound me. It is
Why?
what I
Like,
request. I cannot explain it now, my
Go
dear.
on, Mandion, wound him.
I can't let the Crimson Bone see about this. Mandion Gelden pulls out his palm pistol and he says, was it with this?
That will do excellently. Look, your Bitterroot says it was good as you're like poking your head back in the bead curtain with Skeezewell. You're like, whoa, wound. and like Mandion Gelden is like pointing. He has the palm pistol out.
I'll kind of start pointing it at different areas of Loki here. I'm like, but where? I don't want to kill you.
You
Hurt him.
You go to point it toward him, and you are unable to point your weapon at Lokir Bitterroot. You're like, whoa, and like you try a few different angles. You're like, where? And like all of a sudden you're like realizing like you could not shoot him if you wanted to. And Lokir Bitterroot's like, yep, I was afraid of that. Oh yes. Oh, Mandion Gelden, take a seat, my boy. And he beckons you over yonder.
As he walks away, I try to point my gun at him again. Still fine, I can't. I follow him over, dejected at the lack of skills suddenly.
I must say, Mandion Gelden, I was nervous perhaps you were going to shoot me there. As he sits down with you along the table, he takes a small silver locket out of his pocket and places it upon the table. It takes the black ichor and drops a single drop of it, so it splashes into the gemstone of this silver like amulet necklace, staining it black. And he hands it to you, Mandion Gelden. He's like, take this, my boy. Don it around your neck, and whenever the evils of Dram the Dark or his minions are nearby you, you will feel their presence.
Oh, really, Loki? You've seen this before?
Oh no, I'm making this all up on the spot. I hope it works excellently, though.
Well, I suppose I'll take anything I can get, Loki. I certainly appreciate the gesture.
Of course, it's the least I can do. We can talk about the whole you not being able to shoot me thing tomorrow. That's gonna be a lot.
But
Don't worry, the things are not related.
Loki, you're making me even more worried.
And he like, gets up like his bony body, like cracking. Well, on we go. Anyway, Mandion Gelden, tomorrow we can deal with all that, whatever. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, get back in here, you little man, you. Get back in here, you gray man, you gray orc man. Get in here, you.
Yes, master.
Lokir Bitterroot puts his arm around your shoulder and he starts walking with you into the storage room, oddly, and he's kind of like rifling around a bit. He's like, help me move these boxes, will you, my boy? And you assist him moving some like crates and stuff out of the way that have been seemingly tucked in the corner for a little while here, unveiling a trap door. And Lokir Bitterroot opens up this trap door covered in dirt and dust, and it is a descending like ladder deep into the heart of the great tree. Nothing you've ever seen before. And Lokir Bitterroot takes you down. A few fireflies coming to light and glistening the interior of this area. It's like, I've been working on this, Master Bone-Breaker, since probably when I met you. And now, since I've returned years later, after my great trip, it should be just about ready. And you're not sure what Lokir could be talking about as you are, as you're kind of like trailing and following him through like these twisted like paths and like caverns down here where like the roots of the great tree are, you know, providing the occasional obstacle and blockade that you have to find your way, you know, squirming through. And then Loki-Bidu kind of disappears around from out of sight, and you hurry to regain vision of him, only to find yourself now in like a big like central chamber, in the middle of which rests a large like gnarled piece of wood that seems to be like resting upon some type of like stone stand of some kind. Loki Bitterroot is like, ta-da! Behold, my boy, for you. And he motions to you this large like hunk of wood, basically.
For me?
Yes, please wield it in your arms and let me know how the balance is. And then you realize that Loki-Bitter is talking about a weapon, and you get a little excited.
Oh yeah.
And
Those people take.
you head on over, stepping up to like this large, like almost like a club, like a giant would wield, and you grab upon it, and the handle is like perfect for your two hands to sit in quite comfortably, before it gets quite large, like a fat like bat that just continues outward for quite a few feet. This is a heavy two-handed great club, a devastating weapon. It carries on along in like this bat-like formation until eventually it gets around kind of like the end, and then it starts to like twist and turn in on itself, almost like a seashell in a way. And you are granted the great club of Lokir Bitterroot. Behold, my boy, crafted from the roots of the great tree itself, stronger than stone, and graced by the magic of the Feywild. May you crush your enemies, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, and keep your friends safe. With the magnitude of energy you'll be busting out with that bad girl. Hoo-wee!
Ulzgud can't contain his excitement.
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, because this is where our episode is ending tonight.
Oh, I can't even kill anything with it. Brutal.
The promise of a new weapon to come, treats to be had, a new quest for the champions, for the Crimson Bones to partake in. For good or bad, who can say? But you may very well be finding dark elves sooner than you guys thought you would again. But you certainly have some time to think about it. And in this moment, gentlemen, as we're wrapping up and Skeezewell, Binbag, and Mandion, you're kind of conversing by the music of the chicken party, partaking outside as Quagon and Waldwin and Syphax are, you know, joyously playing along themselves as well. Ulzgud, Mandion, and Skeezewell, you all are taken aback by this moment and reflect. You've all learned much about Atla and about yourselves. It's hard to believe how ignorant you've all been this entire time. But now you see you have so much to learn. You resolve to continue pushing yourselves. Perhaps there's more to you than you thought. You have all leveled up, my Crimson Bones. I'm pleased to say, level 7 lies for you all.
Yeah.
Big shit.
I believe we're not playing next weekend. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we will take care of the leveling up. You know, we'll have a whole weekend off to you know, get your characters all set up for next session on what will be the 27th, gentlemen.
Very good.
Okay. I'm just gonna